DNF Duel. How I was fooled into buying this game, this so-called beginner-friendly, casual-friendly game. Oh, how I found out as soon as I jumped onto online. Oh boy. Let's get into it. I'm going to break down for you why I think it is not beginner-friendly. Keep in mind this is from a casual player's perspective. I'm by no means a serious hardcore player, but I feel like that's important because this game was like sort of marketed as like beginner friendly, and how as a beginner or a casual I was roped into buying it, or how the marketing worked on me, and why after I started playing it I felt like it was the exact opposite of what I would consider casual friendly. So let's get the big point out of the way. Simple inputs. Now this was the thing that really drew me in as a casual player. The idea that the special moves and the MP moves are just one input plus a directional button. With your more traditional fighting games like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear, most of the special moves will be like quarter circle forward, light punch, or quarter circle backward, heavy kick, or whatever. And the ultimate moves or the critical arts or whatever you want to call them will be like two quarter circles forward plus like medium punch or something. So doing special moves, whenever you pick a character, you have to really like learn the inputs for all of their moves, all of their unique moves and their critical art and all that. And it can be easy to miss input, but with this game, because the inputs are simple, you don't have to spend all that time learning the character's individual moves. And because the inputs are simple, you do the move when you want to do the move. Like, if I want to do this character's special move, all I have to do is press circle and left. So there's very little chance I'm going to mess that up. Like, I'm going to press circle and left and the move's going to come out when I want it to come out. Versus with Street Fighter, maybe I'm trying to do Chun-Li spinning leg kick, but because I'm nervous and I'm playing a ranked match, I mess up. The inputs, I got to hold down for a little bit and then press up really quick in a kick button. It's just a little bit more complicated. Sometimes the move might not come out. I might miss input. So that was really one of the things that drew me into this game. The other thing was that the comboing wasn't super hard. Like, it's because of the simple inputs again. When you're comboing in a game with more traditional inputs, missing your input will cause you to drop the combo. But because this game has the simple inputs, dropping a combo doesn't happen as often. And so doing combos are a lot easier. Also, I noticed when I played it that the timing of the buttons, the timing of the inputs is not difficult compared to like Guilty Gear, where when you're doing like Roman cancels and stuff, the timing can get a little tricky. But with this game, the timing is it's easy. So I like that. I was like, oh, I can do some really like impressive combos, and I don't have to spend 10 hours a day practicing in practice mode to learn these combos. Because as a casual, I don't have a lot of time to play fighting games. I play a lot of other variety of games, and I do other stuff. So I don't have time to get super good at, Tekken or something. So a game like this was like, oh, I can learn a character in like 20 minutes and then just go on, and then I can just play it, a couple hours on one day, and then maybe not come back to it until 4 days later, and I still remember how to do all the moves because they're easy inputs and the combos are easy. So that was another thing that drew me in, was the combos. The other thing was the fact that the inputs are the same for every character. So for example, like your awakening skill, or the ultimate attack. If you're playing on PlayStation controller, it's an L2, but it's just whatever. If you're using a fight stick or whatever, it's the same button for every character. Your ultimate move, it's always L2 or it's always LT or whatever button. That's going to be the button no matter what character you pick. Versus like Street Fighter, where your critical art is a complicated input, like double quarter circle forward plus a kick button. Maybe for that character, but for another character it might be quarter circle backward twice plus a punch button. I mean, it could be totally different. It could be like a half circle backward then forward plus a button. I mean, it could be totally different depending on the character. Not to mention all of the character's special moves. they're all the inputs are different. So just because you learn one character, you can't just switch to another character and know what you're doing. You have to relearn everything. But with this game, because the inputs are simple, no matter what character you play, the button for the special moves is always the same. The button for your MP moves is always the same no matter what character you play. So it's kind of easy. Now granted, the combos are going to be different, and what moves come out when you press those special buttons is going to be different. So when you want to use them and when you don't want to use them isn't the same. So you do still have to relearn the character, but you don't have to relearn the inputs. And that's a big part of learning a new character in a more traditional fighting game. It takes a while to like memorize all the inputs. And then if you want to know many characters, like if you want to be able to bounce back and forth between like 4 and 5 characters, you gotta remember all those inputs. With this game, you don't. All you have to remember is the combos. You can you can learn as many characters as you want. You don't have to relearn any inputs. You just relearn the combos and what's the character's strengths and weaknesses and when to use what. So that was another thing, because I like to use many characters. And as a casual player who doesn't have a lot of time to invest in fighting games, usually in a traditional fighting game, I pick one character and I stick with it because I don't have time to learn multiple. And this game has a lot of cool and interesting characters, so that was another thing that drew me in. And the last point of what drew me into the game in the first place was the relatively simple, and I say relatively, simple game mechanics. There's not a whole lot going on, like meter-wise. You have your MP meter, right? Which is basically how you do your MP moves, which are sort of like... It's sort of like your EX moves almost in Street Fighter. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like your special moves, because special moves don't cost meter. But like in Street Fighter, you have like your V skill moves, what cost meter, or your EX versions of your special moves that cost meter. So the MP moves are sort of like that. You have your special moves in this game as well that don't cost meter. And then you have your MP moves, which are a little stronger, that cost meter. But that's the only meter you have. You don't have like how in Street Fighter you have a V skill meter on top of your your critical art, your blue meter at the bottom. Or in Guilty Gear you have your burst meter as well as your meter on the bottom. So on this game you really just have your MP meter, what you need to pay attention to. You also have like your guard meter, which shows you like when your guard's gonna break, or when you're trying to break the enemy's guard. So there's that, but that's not really, I feel like it's not something I pay attention to a lot. As a casual player, I don't get in a situation where my guard's getting broke or I'm breaking the other person's guard very often. Also, on top of the meters, I feel like just the mechanics in general, like you basically just have your basic moves, your special moves, your MP moves, your guard button, doing a guard cancel, and that's it. Doing combos, making sure your guard's not getting broken. That's really all there is to it, versus like Guilty Gear, where you have all these different types. You have your burst and your Roman cancels. You got your red and your yellow and all these different things, and they all do different things, and you have to like know all that. It's a lot to, as a casual player, that can be intimidating. Even in Street Fighter, like the V skill system, choosing your V trigger and your V skill, it's a little much sometimes for somebody that doesn't have a lot of time to put in and learn the mechanics. So this game just having basically, in my opinion, like one mechanic that I really need to pay attention to, or one meter I should say, that I need to pay attention to, that's attractive to a casual player. So if all this sounds good and all this is what drew me to buy the game, then why isn't it good? Well, let me tell you exactly why all that is actually bad for casual players. So the main reason, the big reason why I would argue that all this works against the casual player is because the game is so easy to learn. It's so easy to pick up and to do combos and stuff that everybody that you match with knows the game. And what I mean by that is, like, when you match with somebody online, everyone you match with, they know combos, they know big combos because they're easy to do. They know the mechanics of the game because there's not very many. Most people that you match with understand the game, and they understand what they're doing, and they have big combos. So as a casual player, you never really have an edge over the opponent. So to further elaborate on that, So take a game like Street Fighter, right? Or Guilty Gear. For this example, we'll use Street Fighter. So, as a casual player, sometimes we don't want to bother learning all the mechanics, or how to use the V skill system, or how to do guard cancels, or whatever. And some people just go online and they just mash buttons, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I used to do that too. And the reason why is because, we don't have a lot of time to play games. We might only play this game like an hour a week or a couple hours a week. So, we're not going to sit there and spend the little time we have learning the mechanics of the game. We're just going to hop in and start mashing buttons. So when you're playing online on Street Fighter, and if you're a casual player, you're probably not a high rank. So for instance, me, I play on, I'm rookie rank. That's the rank I play on. So oftentimes online, I'll match with people who A, are probably just kids and don't know anything about the game. They're smashing buttons. Or B, maybe an adult like me, but who is also casual and maybe has a little less time or just a little less, I don't know, motivation to learn the game. So they're just mashing buttons. They don't know how to guard break. They don't know any of their characters' inputs. Because again, the character inputs for Street Fighter, they're more complicated. Like for the special moves and everything, the inputs are more complicated and every character is different. So if you're playing online with somebody who's trying a new character for the first time, they might not know all the inputs. They might not, maybe they can't be bothered to learn a whole new set of complicated inputs for their special moves. So if I'm playing against somebody who, doesn't know how to use the V skill system, or doesn't know how to do EX moves, or doesn't know how to do guard cancel, or doesn't know combos, or doesn't even know their character's special inputs for their special moves, and here I know my character and I understand the mechanics of the game, it's pretty much an easy win, right? Like, they're just mashing buttons. You're pretty much going to destroy them. And as a casual player who only plays a little bit here and there, that's pretty much the only, edge I'm going to have when I'm playing online. Because if I come across somebody who does know the mechanics of the game, and they do understand their character, and they put more time into it than I do, which most likely they have been putting more time into it, because I don't put a whole lot of time. So they're probably going to win, right? So that's what gives you, to my opinion, as a casual gamer, that's what gives you an edge in fighting games, is coming across people that just can't be bothered to learn the game. Like especially in Guilty Gear, right? In the lower ranks, people don't know how to do Roman cancels and stuff. No casual player can be bothered to learn all that stuff. It's too complicated. They just want to get in and mash the buttons. Which I understand, I used to do that too. So, but that's what gives you a chance to win. The ability to understand the game and understand your character better than your opponent is basically all you have as a casual player. Because the only other way to win is to just practice, put in a lot of time, get really good, be able to read your opponent, understand, what characters are stronger against others, and when to use what moves, and what your character is weak against, what characters have things that your character is weak against, things like that. But as a casual player, you're not going to know all that. You're not going to know your frame data and stuff like that. Like, we can't be bothered to learn frame data and know this move is plus on block, minus on block. It's too much. Or rather, it seems like too much. And that's what gives you the edge, right? Because really, as a casual player, you can learn Street Fighter and Guilty Gear or Tekken or Soul Calibur or whatever, King of Fighters, I don't care. You can learn it. And you can probably learn the game mechanics in not very long. Like, you could sit there, just one day, your off day or whatever, your free time, you could sit there for 2 hours. And in 2 hours, you could definitely learn the mechanics, all the mechanics of the game, plus pick a character and memorize all their special moves and their ultimate move and whatever, and really learn even a couple of combos even in the matter of 2 hours. But most casual players can't be bothered to do that, and that's what gives you the edge. You play the traditional fighting games like Street Fighter, whatever. You sit there for 2 hours or probably less, learn all the mechanics of the game, learn a character, learn all their moves, memorize their inputs, learn a couple of combos with that character, and you go online and you are gonna match with people that couldn't be bothered to do that, and you're gonna win matches. But with this game, because there's relatively little mechanics and the inputs are simple, so it's really easy to learn a character, and you can learn a character and their combos in the matter of like 5 or 10 minutes or less. I mean, you could sit there and learn like their full combo list in the training mode or whatever. There's like 10 combos or so. You could learn that in like 5 minutes. So the chances of you going online and coming across somebody who doesn't understand the game or doesn't know their character are pretty low. So there's really no edge for you if you're somebody that only plays a couple hours at a time here or there, like me. You're not going to win as many matches playing in DNF Duel. In order to win more matches, you're going to have to put time into the game. You're going to have to practice and put a lot of hours into the game, because everybody you come across is going to understand the game. They're going to know their character's moves. They're going to know how to do combos. So you're not going to have an edge if you're somebody that doesn't put a lot of time into the game and, you know, doesn't practice and only plays like an hour a week or so. You're probably going to lose. So if you're like me, because that's me, I only put like a couple hours a week into these games, you're going to lose like every match on this game unless you seriously dedicate a lot of time to practicing. One last point I want to make too about the combos and about the meters and everything. One thing that really sucks as a casual player, really as anybody, is to get into a match, immediately get caught in somebody's really long, obnoxious combo, and then have half of your health bar be taken away, play footsies for a little bit, maybe land a couple hits, maybe exchange a couple hits, and then get hit in another really long combo and die. That happens a lot in this game because everyone knows their combos and everyone has really long combos. But also because the only meter you really need to do long combos is the MP meter. Of course, there's combos that don't use MP moves, and those are shorter combos. But the really long combos that use the MP moves, you need meter to do that. But the only meter you need is the MP meter, and it's a meter that regenerates fairly quickly, in my opinion, compared to Street Fighter, right? In Street Fighter, in the rookie ranks, right, you're probably not going to get caught in any big combos. You might get caught in like a 3-hit combo, which is nothing, or maybe a 6-hit. That's about it. But in order to do a long combo, you need meter. You either need your blue critical art meter at the bottom or your V-skill meter, or both, to do like, because a lot of these long combos, they require EX moves, which uses your blue meter. Or they require V-skill moves, which you need the V meter. Now those bars take a while to charge. Like, you don't have meter right when the game starts. It's not like this DNF Duel where as soon as you start you have half of your MP meter, and then once you take some damage and you lose a little bit of life, you have your full meter. So it takes a while. You don't start out with half a meter of a critical art meter in Street Fighter. You start out with 0 meter. You have 0 critical art meter and 0 of your V meter. So you're not going to get hit in a really long combo that takes away half of your health right from the beginning of the match. It's just not going to happen. You can't do that without meter. Now you might get hit with a really long combo later in the match once your opponent has built meter up. But the chances of that happening to you on like rookie rank are pretty low. Most people aren't going to have really big combos in their back pocket that require meter to do. Not on rookie rank. And even if they do, it's probably only going to happen to you once. Maybe twice, but probably only once. And also because the chances of them dropping their combo are a lot higher in Street Fighter versus this game, right? Because of the more complicated inputs. They might try to get you in a big combo that requires meter and then drop it halfway through. But in this game, because everybody has really long combos, and because you have half of your MP meter from the get-go, you can get caught in a really big combo right out of the gate, and then almost again immediately after. So you can just get destroyed. You can get wrecked by somebody with really long combos that just keeps getting you in combos, and then that's it, and the match is over in a matter of seconds. That's not going to happen to you in Street Fighter or Guilty Gear or probably any other like traditional fighting game, because you need meter to do the longer combos, and you don't have meter right out of the gate, and it takes a while for those meters to regen. I feel like personally the MP meter regens really quickly, maybe a little too quickly. It almost feels like you can just keep doing combos, and it doesn't take a long time for the bar to come back and to do another big crazy combo. So to summarize, this game, if you only play it a couple hours a week or a couple hours every other day, you're going to get wrecked. Pretty much everyone's going to be better than you. The only way to get good is to practice and put a lot of time. Versus like a more traditional fighter, all you got to do is put a little bit of time, learn a character, learn a couple combos, learn the mechanics. And in the lower ranks, which you'll probably be in because you only play it a little bit at a time and you're not putting a lot of time to practice, but you're going to come across people that can't be bothered to learn the game because it seems too complicated, or they're just kids, or they're just people that want to mash buttons, and you're going to win some. You're going to win some and you're going to lose some, but that's better than losing every match, which is what I feel like is going to happen to you if you're a casual in DNF Duel. So that's basically it. And also, I don't know if you saw, but Street Fighter 6 is going to have the option between simple inputs and complex inputs, which before playing DNF Duel I would have been excited about as a casual, but now I know better. So is that going to be bad? It might be bad. It might be bad, but that's a whole nother video. Maybe I'll get into that in a separate video, but yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you think this game is actually beginner friendly? Are you a casual yourself? What do you think about it? Are you not a casual, and what do you think about it? But yeah, just let me know. Hit the like button, please. It supports my channel, and it doesn't take, it takes 2 seconds. Doesn't hurt anything. And yeah, and freaking smash that subscribe button, man. Just freaking do it. You want to see more content like this. I know you do. And yeah, if you don't hit that subscribe button, you're going to get a spinning bird kick to the face of freaking Chun-Li right in the middle of the night. You'll be fast asleep. Ain't nobody want a Chun-Li spinning bird kick in the middle of their sleep, man. Imagine waking up to that. Freaking helicopter blade legs, like doosh, doosh, doosh. That's not going to feel good. So just hit the subscribe button, man. Do yourself a favor. Alright, I'm out. Peace.